Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I got a collection video. We are doing a 2023 update for my CD collection. This will just be my main CD collection, not the bonuses. I will not be putting my vinyl collection, in this collection video. This will just be this here shelf. The reason I had this idea, another YouTuber, David Stinson, just finished his journey through his CD collection. It inspired me to do an update on mine, so I guess we'll get started here. We're going from A to Z. This will be a multiple series, so I thought, since also I've gotten a lot of CDs lately, so it's time to show the collection. Let's get started. First one we got is Aaron Watson, Red Bandana. Yeah, it's a good album. My favorite on here is definitely Country Radio and Kiss That Girl Goodbye. Those are my personal two favorites. Yeah, it's typical Texas country, traditional country, whatever we'll call it, but it's okay though. Next, we got some classic rock with Aerosmith. Devil's Got a New Disguise, the very best of Aerosmith. Let's see here. After that, we got back to country with some Alan Jackson. We got Greatest Hits, the Greatest Hits collection. Not sure if you can see that. But yeah. This is definitely a good Greatest Hits from Alan. And then we get to this one. Volume 2. Greatest Hits Volume 2, also by Alan Jackson. Just a standard Greatest Hits album. If you like classic country from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, and check him, and you haven't heard him, check it out. Now we got some Italian music. I like some music with different languages, so bear with me. This guy I really resonate with, and that is Andrea Bocelli. I got Best of Vivere. He's blind, and if you didn't know, I'm blind or visually impaired. So, yeah. I like this guy's music. My favorite would have to be Dare to Live Vivere or Sogno, or my personal favorite, Time to Say Goodbye with, Sarah Brightman, which was featured in the movie Blades of Glory. If you've never seen that movie, if you have, you would recognize that was the opening song with Time to Say Goodbye. So yeah, there's that. Andrea Bocelli, Vivere. Let's call it that. Alright, next CD up, we got some Mark Barnard country. We got Blake Shelton, Fully Loaded Guts country. Another Blake Shelton. We got Reloaded, 20 #1 hits. This is a good one too, as far as the Greatest Hits album goes. The other one is the Greatest Hits, but it's more from the singles era. Okay, here's some more classic rock with Bon Jovi Greatest Hits, the Ultimate Collection Deluxe Edition. I was really only wanting the first edition, the first disc, but it's okay to have the second one, I guess, the Deluxe Edition. I was hoping to find the standard, but that's okay. I got the 2 or 3 disc Deluxe Edition, the Bon Jovi Greatest Hits. Let's see here, Brooks and Dunn Greatest Hits. Favorites are Neon Moon or Boot Scootin' Boogie on that one. Here's some classic Christian music. If you didn't know, I'm a Christian, so I like a bunch of old Christian music. And this is actually one of my parents' old CDs. This is Brian Duncan's The Last Time I Was Here. It's a good CD there, if you like old Christian music from the 90s. And here's another one from my parents' collection. This is Caedmon's Calls, 40 Acres. My favorite Caedmon's album. Favorites are There You Go, Thankful, and 40 Acres. I do have a special spot for Somewhere North, but it's still not the best one. It's probably 4 or 5. But anyhow, I don't have time to tell the story. Here we go. Next artist is some more modern country. We got Carrie Underwood, Greatest Hits, Decade #1. You probably know Carrie Underwood for Jesus Take the Wheel, but there's also a song here called Something in the Water. But I also like other songs like Two Black Cadillacs and See You Again. Here's some more Christian music. Here is Casting Crowns' debut from 20 years ago. It's just called Casting Crowns. You ought to recognize this if you listen to any Christian music. This is the one that has Voice of Truth on here. It's from 2003, Casting Crowns. Then I got the follow-up to Casting Crowns' first album, Life Song. This is also the one that has, Praise You in the Storm. That's a good one on here. Okay, now we're back at classic country. Clay Walker's debut from 1993. Let's see here. Here's some Texas country again. Cody Johnson, Ain't Nothing to It. Yeah, Cody Johnson's good. Country singer from today, his generation. Here's another Walmart pickup I got. Creed, Greatest Hits. I'm into rock music as well. So, yeah, some classic 90s post-grunge with Creed, Greatest Hits. Put that one there. Here's a good Christian album from the late 2000s. David Crowder Band, Church Music. Yeah, this is definitely a good album. And I like the effects on this album, too. It's like state-of-the-art. Day of Fire's debut. Whoops, hold on. Focus. There it is. Day of Fire. Day of Fire. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I'm visually impaired and hard to do this sometimes. DC Talk with Jesus Freak. I'm going to be a little controversial. I thought DC Talk's last 2 albums are definitely their best, in my opinion. I'm not real crazy about the first 2. Free at Last was okay, but I'm going to have to say this is my favorite DC Talk album. Supernatural. Basically, this is the reason I say that is because my parents had another copy of it a long time ago. I have it somewhere, but when I was a little kid, they played this for me, and I loved it ever since. So, and I never knew anything about the other band members until I got into Toby Mac. But spoiler alert, he's in this section somewhere. But yeah, anyhow, we got DC Talk. Decipher Down 2 CDs on great price. Into Gray and Crash. It's a good compilation, kind of double take album, but not. Back at Classic Rock with, I believe, Def Leppard, yes. This is Def Leppard with, I believe, Drastic Symphonies. I think, is it their new album? Yeah. Latest, kind of greatest hits album. And then I believe the next few, we got more Def Leppard. So, yeah, this one's right. This is Hysteria. My favorite Def Leppard album at the time. of recording this video. But I need to fix this one because it's scratched. But that album's predecessor, Pyromania. That's a good Walmart find. And if you like what you call it, some Christian metal, I got something for you. Here's Demon Hunter Extremist. That's a good Demon Hunter album. I need to find more of their albums, like True Defiance and the first three. Here's another one of my first CDs for me. And that is by the band Disciple. Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. Yes. Other than Skillet, Disciple was another exposure to rock, one of the first exposures to rock music for me. Actually, I used to think these guys were metal, but I mean, the first four were metal, but I would say Game On and onward, it's just rock. But anyhow, that's shelf one. Here we go with the next album. More Disciple. Long Live the Rebels. Love Letter Kill Shot. That's definitely their best since Oh God Save Us All, which is actually next. Here it is. Oh God Save Us All from Disciple. Sorry about the glare. Yeah, that's another one of Disciple's best. That along with Horseshoes were my first two Disciple CDs I ever picked up. Actually, I got them for Christmas a little more than 10 years ago. The year Oh God Save Us All came out. Whatever year that was. 2011, 2012. Okay, here's an underrated album. Here's some Christian, contemporary / country, blues, whatever, soft rock. Eddie B. Born Again Missionary. Now, we're going into my childhood real fast, my babyhood. We got Enya. I grew up on Enya. So I got a lot of her CDs, the first few of hers. So this is the last one we had of hers from my parents. We're going to go through them. Here's A Day Without Rain. She's probably my favorite different language singer. But yeah, this is my favorite Enya album. Paint the Sky with Stars, the best of. Got three more here, I think. Shepherd Moons. It's a really good album, I think. Memory of Trees. Focus, yeah. If you like kind of soft massage parlor music, you'd like our music probably. But this used to be my favorite. This is when I grew up on the most, probably. Watermark. And that's all the Enya. I have the Celts, the first album of hers, somewhere, but I'm just not going to show it in here for right now. That's in the bonus section. So yeah, that's Enya. Now we're getting to Eric Church. Country singer Eric Church. This is his And EP. You'll see why that one's called And in just a second. But here's the one that started it all on me on country music. I believe this is Chief. Either Chief and then, yeah, Chief. Heart. Which has Heart on Fire. And Soul. I'm trying to go fast for y'all, but not too fast. So sorry if I'm going too fast. Okay. Here's an underrated Christian metal band that sounds like Metallica. Eternal Decision. Ghost in the Machine. This is the only one I could find when I was into these guys a lot in 2020. So if you like good Christian metal before Skillet, before Disciple, but it sounds kind of like 80s era Metallica, check out Eternal Decision on Spotify or find them if you want. Here's Family Force 5's debut. Business Up Front, Party in the Back, Diamond Edition. This album definitely needs to come back. It's another Family Force album. Dance or Die. I really hope they put this one back on Spotify or streaming service or iTunes. It's better than some of the other crap they have on there now, in my opinion. I'm not trying to rant, though. But yeah, Dance or Die, good album. Although my least favorite from the group. Here's the one that started it all on me on Family Force 5. 3. Yes. This is the one that has Wobble. That's the one that started it all on me for them. And then the one that has Cray Button, it's an EP. What do we call it? 3.5 or 3.5, whatever it's called correctly. Don't really know. But yeah. That's a really good Family Force 5 album. That was probably the last good EP before Sogo left. But after Sogo left, they did do one album before changing their name to just FF5. They did do one Family Force 5 album with Crouton. And that is this album. Time Stands Still. It's an okay album. It shows they're a Christian band, so yeah. Family Force 5, that's all from them. Next up, Fireflight. Kind of the Christian Evanescence. Fireflight, Unbreakable, that's my favorite Fireflight album. Excuse me. Flyleaf, this is their debut. And we're back at classic rock with the best of Foreigner live. I thought this was a greatest hits. It kind of disappointed me when I found out it's a live album. That's okay. I'll have to find their greatest hits album. Wait a minute, actually, I take that back, my guys. I'm sorry. This is Florida Georgia Line's greatest hits. Yeah, Florida Georgia Line. Yes, that was my last pickup, actually. That's why I didn't think Get Straight, because that was my last pickup, actually. You can find it on my channel. Here's the best of Foreigner live. My mistake, guys. So Florida Georgia Line, then Foreigner. Classic rock again. Genesis, Invisible Touch. Personally, my favorite Genesis album, I'll say. I haven't listened to their 70s material, but for now I'm just going to say Invisible Touch is my favorite. So Genesis, mega album. George Strait in 50 number ones. And this album is no exaggeration. It literally has 51 songs on it. I don't know how they were able to do this, but yeah. 50 number ones by George Strait, including a new song called I Hate Everything. Not I Hate Everything About You by 3 Days Grace, but I Hate Everything by George Strait. So yeah, George Strait. Here's Guns N' Roses' greatest hits. I like a little bit of Guns N' Roses. Not a lot, just a little. And after Guns N' Roses, we got Hawk Nelson, Live Life Loud. Seer. My personal favorite Hawk Nelson album, the one that actually my brother had on CD, that got pretty much my first official before Skillet exposure to rock music, Hawk Nelson. Smile, It's the End of the World. This is my favorite CD from Hawk Nelson. If you haven't looked them up, if you like music like Reliant K, check them out. The first few Hawk Nelson albums. Here's Honor and Glory. David Stinson actually introduced me to this group on his channel, so go check him out. But this is the band members from Disciples Worship Project. So that's Honor and Glory. House of Pain. I don't know what this one's called, but it's, I think, the House of Pain EP. The one that has Jump Around on it. This was my dad's old CD. he gave to me. Next up, we got more classic rock. I believe this is Journey's Greatest Hits. I will be honest, I like a little bit of Journey. Don't Stop Believing, though, is kind of overplayed. I bought that CD mainly for anything, Any Way You Want It, and Faithfully, and pretty much all the other songs. Don't Stop Believing is a good song, don't get me wrong, but it's way the heck overplayed in my opinion. Here's another Texas country album, an old one. Josh Abbott Band, She's Like Texas. If you like traditional Texas country from Texas, I'm from Texas, so I'm not telling you exactly where I'm from, but yeah. That's Josh Abbott Band, She's Like Texas. Yeah, that's a good album. Not bad. I just prefer the popular stuff. After that, let's see here. The Best of Joy Williams. I don't remember what the name of it was called, but that was my mom's. Every Mile or something. After Joy Williams, we got a local artist. This ought to show you a little bit of where I'm from or used to live, but here's Kenny James mixing it up. Good luck trying to find this. He's literally a local artist and goes around restaurants in an area I used to live in. So yeah, after King James, we got, what is this? Cutlass, one of my favorite bands, Cutlass. This is the special edition to Hearts of the Innocent. I haven't listened to it in a while because it's scratched. That CD in particular is scratched. I think all my Cutlass CDs mostly got scratched, but here's my second favorite, the debut, which is called Cutlass. My personal favorite, the one that started it all for me for Cutlass, Sea of Faces. Yes. Surrender, which is definitely their best since this album. To Know That You're Alive. I don't have the rest. That's all the Cutlass I have. I'm not real crazy about their other stuff. I mean, the worship stuff is good. It's just, I prefer the rock when I want to hear a Cutlass CD. That's just it, you know. But from their rock perspective, one of my favorite bands here is from Flyleaf. Lacey Stern solo, Life Screams. I haven't listened to that in forever. If you like EDM like me, here's Latour, Cold EP from 1992 or 91. That's an old EDM album. Okay, I got a confession to make before I show the next few. I'm not big on rap music, but I was, for a little bit, kind of on the Christian rap scene, you know, Tadashi. But I do like these two albums from this particular artist. You ought to know, if you're going along with the alphabet here, you ought to know him, Lecrae. This is Gravity. That's his second best. But this is the album that really started me on Lecrae way back in the day. Rehab. So, yeah. There's Rehab by Lecrae. Comes in this soft digipack. Both of my Lecrae CDs come in digipacks, but here's Ledger. Jen Ledger from Skillet's solo EP. One of the two EPs I have on CD. Lenny Kravitz, Are You Gonna Go My Way? That's a good Lenny Kravitz album. I have actually heard that. It was my dad's CD, but I've heard it. Here is Lifehouse Greatest Hits. I think. Yeah, it's Lifehouse's Greatest Hits by Lifehouse. I do have a confession to make. I do like some of the songs on this album, and that is LMFAO, Sorry for Party Rocking. I don't agree with the bad language on this album, the F words being thrown out, but I like, the Party Rock anthem and Sexy and I Know It. I will say that. Besides, that's the CD. I think that's the only one me and my family bought a CD ever from Best Buy, to my knowledge, with me there, at least. I think that's the only one we bought from Best Buy. I could be wrong. It's too bad they quit carrying CDs. But anyhow, here's the Macarena, another guilty pleasure. Don't know what this sounds called, but it's by Los Del Rio. The one with the Macarena. Okay, here's another guilty pleasure. Here's Luke Bryan with Born Here, Live Here. Wait a minute, that can't be right, is it? I gotta open these sometimes and look at them. Yeah, it's Born Here, Live Here, Die Here by Luke Bryan. Born Here, Live Here, Die Here. I like a little bit of Luke Bryan, like the singles at least, believe it or not. Mainly because of this album, Crash My Party. If you're a longtime follower of my channel, you would know this is my favorite country album to listen to. It has so many memories. I have so many memories attached to that album. When I moved to this house on the river, me and my friend would listen to this on, not on CD, but on like Spotify. Before then, it was actually iTunes when we first moved here. When I first moved here, that there was three things for sure, because that we'd be listening, going fishing at night, and listening, having a pretty night, and listening to Luke Bryan. So yeah, there's that. So anyway, that's Luke Bryan's Crash My Party. That's why it's my favorite country album of all time, The Memories. So here's a Walmart exclusive Luke Bryan CD, the number ones, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I think they did a good job, Walmart, whoever did this. Good job complying that one, the songs on that one. And after Luke Bryan, we got Moya Brennan, another different language singer who's actually Enya's older sister. So yeah, this is Moya Brennan's Perfect Time. You probably can't see it because of the sticker or the glare, but it doesn't matter. Her song, The Light on the Hill, made it to Christian album Wow Hits 1999. So that's pretty cool. And then after that, we got Matthew West. Hello, my name is Greatest Hits. And now, another one of my favorite bands. I've been a fan for a long time. A lot of these were my parents. But yeah, I did get a couple. And that band is Mercy Me. Another one of my favorite bands out there. This is my favorite, I believe. Yeah, let me check it. Yeah, All That Is Within Me. Once again, I have so many memories attached to this album as well. My mom had the CD somewhere, and I have it now somewhere. That's not that particular copy that I know of that copy. But I had it, too. But that album, my mom would listen to all the time when I was growing up, when it came out. So anyhow, that's that one. Here's their debut, Almost There. You'd probably know this album a little, at least for the song I Can Only Imagine. So yeah, that's Mercy Me, Almost There. Their latest album, Always Only Jesus. It's not as good as its predecessor, but it's still a good album by Mercy Me, I'd say. Here is Coming Up to Breathe. This was one of my parents' old copies, along with Almost There. If you want, I'll tell you which ones were. Here is Inhale, Exhale. Now, this one was a little bit better album than the newest one, but hey, Inhale was a good album. Inhale, Exhale. I think this one is Lifer. Could be wrong, but it's Lifer. Another great Mercy Me album there. My mom found this for me, I think at Walmart or on the Walmart store online. Playlist, the very best of Mercy Me. Now, hold on a second. The next CD here is The Generous Mr. Lovewell. This was another one. This was my mom's last CD that she got. But before she moved to iTunes and stuff. But she met them in 2010 when this was coming out. This was even before then. So this is an early copy. And the best part of this album, she met the band and got the CD signed by all the band members. So that's pretty cool, huh? So yeah, Mercy Me's Generous Mr. Lovewell. Probably one of their best albums. I'd say either that or All This Within Me is my favorite. And then we get a few more Mercy Me. This is another early my mom's copy. Undone. I like the song Here With Me a lot from this album. A lot of the songs I grew up with on that. And the last one for Mercy Me, Welcome to the New. Now we get into some classic thrash metal. What we got here is, you know them, Metallica. The Black Album. Ride the Lightning. And as of right now, I only have 3, so here's, I don't know how it's upside down, I don't really know, I can't tell. But 72 Seasons. Now we get to the Mighty Dubcats Magic Carpet Ride EP. If you like EDM, like I said, that's a good one to start with from the 90s. Now this one may ruffle some feathers, but here is my second favorite country artist. And that is Morgan Wallen. This is Dangerous, the double album. I got all 3 Morgan CDs, so here is his new one, One Thing at a Time. Or no, wait, that is, I take that back. If I Know Me, his debut. This one's his best, in my opinion, for any Morgan fans. Are there any Morgan Wallen fans out here with me? Now, here is One Thing at a Time. Personally, my least favorite of his 3 albums so far. I would definitely say If I Know Me is his best. Okay. Now we got Need to Breathe, The Heat. This actually I found at Goodwill one time. One time I go looking for CDs at Goodwill, I find this. So that's a good Goodwill buy. So yeah. Now the rest of these on this video, we're going to finish this side, is one band. And that is one of my favorite bands, if not my favorite band, in the top 2, the Newsboys. For longtime fans, you know they were my favorite, but I don't know. Them or Skillet, I'll just go ahead and say them or Skillet are my favorite. But anyhow, this is Newsboys. This will be most of their albums. So, this is Adoration, the Worship album. I got Born Again. This is out of the studio albums. Did I mix it up? Yeah, this is Born Again. That's right. So yeah, out of the studio albums, that one's my favorite. Studio album-wise. You'll see which one is my personal favorite in a minute. But the longest time I've been a Newsboys fan, this is one of the reasons. If you longtime fans of my channel will know this story. But if you're new, this is the reason, one of the reasons I'm a Newsboys fan. My first CD, Go, by the Newsboys. I believe this was my very first CD ever that I officially got. Officially. I think I had something from VBS, but lost it. So, I don't know where it is. So, it's lost of time. So, I'm just going to count Go by Newsboys is my first official CD. Okay, let's keep going. Their biggest album, worship album-wise, and that is God's Not Dead. The second one with Michael Tate as the new lead singer. Actually, did I get that one right? Yeah, God's Not Dead. In my personal opinion, comparing it to their new... Actually, I take that back. That one's Go. Actually, oh my gosh, I forgot about Go. That was Go, my first one. So which one is this? Oh, that's Devotion. I forgot. My Meemaw found that for me at Goodwill, too. So, I'm sorry, guys. I got kind of confused. This one is Go. My first CD ever. Hey, at least the story goes, right? Sorry about that. Okay. Now, I'm back on track. God's Not Dead. Here's God's Not Dead. Now, I was gonna say, in my personal opinion with their albums, comparing to their new stuff and the ones I like the best, this was the first one that they ever released that I would say 5-star, and that is their 5th album, Going Public. Nowadays, this is actually a special album. It was released in 1994, about a month or so before my parents got married. So, I grew up on this album a lot. A little bit, at least. So, here's the last one, Peter Furler, for now. In the Hands of God. This is one of their best, for sure. In the top 3 or 4. Okay, this one, I did get to meet the band on this tour. I actually went backstage and met the band, and that is the album Love Riot. Not their best, but I do have a special reason to liking this album. Despite all the filler in it, if there is any, what you would call filler. Because I like this album too. But they signed my Here CD. Pretty cool. I got all 4 band members at the time, including Michael Tate. It was a good, nice man to me. So thanks, Michael. So yeah, Michael Tate, Newsboys, Love Riot. Then we get a couple albums to their newest one, Stand. Tell the truth, this is, I think, not as good as the other, as Love Riot, for sure. I mean, I do like Magnetic, and I Still Believe You're Good, and Stand, and a few others, but the rest of the album, I gotta say, if you compare it to the 2 in between, yeah, the 2 that came before, studio album-wise, it's definitely the worst one of the 3. So anyhow, that's my opinion on Stand. It's definitely not as good as Love Riot, in my opinion. But yeah. Okay, here's back to the 90s, though. Their best 90s album, Take Me to Your Leader. And here was the one I was talking about as my personal favorite Newsboys album. And that, my friends, out of everything they've ever released, the Greatest Hits. Why Greatest Hits is my favorite, and why am I even counting it on the list? Well, it would be easy, but this was actually my mom's old copy of the album from when it came out, around the time it came out. But it also includes a new song or 2, actually. I Fought the Law was one of them, but the other one. Stay Strong. My personal favorite Newsboys song. So, yeah. That's the reason why it's my favorite, because along with some of the other ones, you got Wherever We Go is my second favorite from them, and It's Something Beautiful, and He Reigns and Shine, all that good stuff. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and show what I got left. I'm going to show just 2 more, and I'll wrap this video up. And their last 2 Newsboys albums. Here's Thrive. That's a good one. From the early 2000s. And last but not least for the Newsboys, United. Now this one's a way better album than Stand was, in my opinion. Probably because Peter Furler and Phil Joel came back to do this album, actually first thing the tour, and then they came back and did this album together. I'm so glad, and it was better than Love Riot. I would say that was their best one in forever. So what do you think of this CD collection so far? I'm going to go ahead and end it here on the first video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out other albums that are in this collection if you haven't. Be sure to check out David Stinson's YouTube channel. He just finished his collection video. Shout out to him. So until then, next time.